The sound of crystal glasses clinking and fake laughter floated up from the private dining room of my restaurant. I stood at the top of the stairs, frozen in place, as my mother-in-law Madison's voice sliced through the air like a sharp knife. Of course, I never pay here. This is my daughter-in-law's place, and family privileges mean everything is free for me. Honestly, I practically own half of it, considering how much we helped them get started, she said. I gripped the stack of invoices in my hands tightly, my knuckles whitening. Her lies spilled out so smoothly, each word hitting like a poison dart aimed straight at my reputation. My name is Lauren, and this restaurant, every brick, every pan, every recipe, was built by me. 17 years of hard work, long days, and countless burned fingers went into creating this place. Not a single cent came from the Thompson family's so-called fortune. Madison, you must tell us how you convinced her to use that amazing truffle supplier, one of her society friends said with a laugh. Oh, I just insisted, Madison replied, her tone dripping with condescension. The poor thing needed so much guidance in the beginning. Honestly, she still does. The invoices crumpled in my fists as their laughter echoed louder, followed by the unmistakable pop of another champagne bottle, my most expensive vintage, no doubt. My phone buzzed and I glanced at the screen. It was a text from Brandon, my husband. Mom says she's entertaining some friends at the restaurant. Hope that's okay. Hope that's okay? Like I was some kid asking for permission to borrow the car. This wasn't okay. I wasn't a teenager. I was a business owner, and his mother was robbing me blind. I started down the stairs. Each step deliberates, my heels clicking sharply against the wood. The laughter from the dining room grew louder as I approached. Madison was in her element, commanding attention like a queen holding court. She was pouring my wine and serving my food, acting like party favors were hers to give away, all while spreading lies about my abilities. My hand paused on the door handle. Through the frosted glass, I could see their shapes, 7 or 8 women, gesturing with wine glasses in hand, every one of them hanging on Madison's every word. For 4 years, I had swallowed my pride, played the role of the good daughter-in-law, and let her walk through my restaurant as if it belonged to her. Madison's voice carried through the door, louder now. It's a good thing I'm here to maintain standards. Left to her own devices, her words trailed off, but I had heard enough. My patience had reached its limit. I pushed the door open, and the room went silent. Every head turned to look at me. Madison's perfectly painted smile stayed in place, but her eyes turned cold and sharp. Lauren, darling, she said sweetly, I was just telling everyone about our little restaurant. Our little restaurant. Something inside me snapped. It wasn't loud or dramatic, but it was final, like a string stretched too tight finally breaking. Actually, Madison, I said, keeping my voice steady even though anger burned in my chest, I think it's time we talk about exactly whose restaurant this is. I slammed our bedroom door so hard that the wedding photo on the wall fell, the frame cracking right down the middle, splitting between Brandon and me. Somehow it felt fitting. You're being completely unreasonable. Brandon's voice came through the door. Mom was just trying to be social. She brings valuable connections to the restaurant. Valuable connections? I yanked the door open and faced him. Your mother just cost me $4,000 in wine and food tonight. And that's not even counting the damage she's doing to my reputation. Brandon stood there in a wrinkled t-shirt, his shoulders slumped like they'd been since he lost his job 4 months ago. She's trying to help, Lauren, he said. You know how influential her friends are in the restaurant world. Helps. I laughed bitterly. By telling everyone she basically owns my restaurant? That I can't make decisions without hers? That's not what she meant, he said quickly. Then what did she mean, Brandon? Please explain to me how your mother spreading lies about my business is supposed to help me. He ran his hands through his hair, a habit so familiar it made my chest ache. You're taking this too personally. Mom's just proud of what we've built. We. The word hit me like acid. What exactly have you built, Brandon? Or your mother? Because I'm the one who worked double shifts for 17 years to save up. I'm the one who created every recipe, hired every staff member, and solved every crisis while you were sitting at your cushy corporate job. His face darkened, and his voice was cold. That's a low blow, Lauren. You know, I'm trying to find a job, are you? Because your mother told her friends you're taking a sabbatical to explore new opportunities. Is that what we're calling it now? I said, my voice sharp. Stop attacking my mother, Brandon shouted, slamming his fist into the wall. The sudden dent in the drywall shocked us both into silence. I grabbed my laptop from the bed. You know what? I'm going to the restaurant. I need to fix the mess your mother made today. Lauren, wait. And starting tomorrow, your mother pays full price like everyone else. If she doesn't like it, she can take her little social gatherings somewhere else. You can't do that to her, he protested. I stopped at the doorway and turned to face him. After 13 years of marriage, he suddenly felt like a stranger. Watch me, I said coldly. If you do this, he said quietly, you're choosing business over family. No, Brandon, I replied. I'm choosing self-respect over manipulation. Maybe you should try it sometime. Without waiting for a response, I walked out, my heels clicking against the hardwood floor like a countdown. In the car, I pulled up the restaurant's security camera feed on my phone. Madison's society friends were already posting about their free lunch on social media, tagging the restaurant. Each notification felt like another nail in the coffin of my marriage. My phone buzzed. A text from my friend Cheryl. Wine emergency at my place.
Come now.
For once, running away felt like the only sane option. At Cheryl's, the harsh light of her laptop glowed across the kitchen counter. She pulled up her husband Timothy's bank statements, her fingers scrolling through them quickly. My hands shook as I clutched my third glass of wine. Holy, Cheryl whispered, stopping on a screen. Look at these transfers to Madison's personal account. They're huge. I leaned closer, my chest tightening. And look at the dates, she added. Right after Brandon lost his job. Does Timothy know? I asked, dread pooling in my stomach. No, she said. He trusts her completely. I swallowed hard, the wine now tasting bitter. Just like Brandon trusts her. Cheryl highlighted another transaction. $250,000 in the last 4 months alone. What is she even doing with all this money? My phone buzzed again, another Instagram notification. It was Madison, posing at a charity gala, dripping in new jewelry. The caption read, supporting local artists while maintaining standards of excellence. Maintaining standards, I muttered bitterly, feeling the weight of betrayal settle deeper in my chest. I muttered, showing Cheryl the post. That's her favorite line lately, usually right before she tells me how to run my restaurant. Lauren, Cheryl said, her voice serious. You have to tell Timothy. And destroy my marriage? I shook my head. Brandon will never forgive me. Your marriage? Cheryl slammed the laptop shut. Honey, your marriage ended the moment Brandon chose his mom's lies over your truth.
The doorbell rang.
Cheryl checked her phone and swore. That's probably Kevin with the kids. I forgot he's dropping them off early. I should go anyway, I said, steadying myself against the counter. I need to check on the restaurant. Wait, Cheryl said, grabbing my arm. Promise me you'll think about telling Timothy. This isn't just about your restaurant anymore. Madison is stealing from her own husband. I'll think about it, I mumbled. Outside, I fumbled with my car keys, my hands trembling. My phone buzzed with a text from Brandon. Mom's upset about what he said. We need to talk. Before I could reply, another notification popped up, a review of my restaurant, posted an hour ago. My heart sank when I saw the name, Andrew Tate, the city's most influential food critic. I hadn't even known he'd been there tonight. The review was scathing. While Carter shows promise, it suffers from inconsistent standards and unclear vision. One wonders if the recent rumors of family interference. I didn't finish reading. Madison's voice echoed in my head, maintaining standards. The timing couldn't be a coincidence. She must have known Andrew was coming and had deliberately planned her little show with her friends on the same night. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Timothy. Lauren, we need to talk about some concerning bank statements. Can we meet privately? I stared at the message. My hands were steady now, the wine buzz gone, replaced by a cold clarity. Madison had finally pushed too far. Now I had to decide what to do about it. The choice was simple. I could protect my family's feelings, or I could protect the truth. But I couldn't do both. The private booth at Marcello's felt more like a confessional. Timothy sat across from me, his usual air of confidence dimmed by the stack of bank statements between us. His hand shook slightly as he turned another page. $250,000, he said quietly. In just 4 months. I stared at my untouched espresso. I'm sorry, Timothy. I shouldn't have, I began, but Timothy cut me off, his voice firm. No, he said. You did exactly the right thing. But there's something else you need to see. He slid another document across the table. It was a loan application. My restaurant's name was at the top, followed by Madison's signature and mine. Except I had never seen this document before. She's trying to take out a second mortgage on your restaurant, Timothy explained, using my name as collateral. The room seemed to spin. That's not possible. I never signed anything. Madison's always been good with signatures, Timothy said bitterly. Ask Brandon about his college acceptance letter sometime. My phone buzzed. It was Brandon again. Where are you? Mom's lawyer wants to talk about the restaurant's future.
She says we need to act fast.
She's moving quicker than I expected, Timothy muttered, reading the text over my shoulder. Probably because of this. He handed me a familiar envelope, Andrew Tate's restaurant review. But this version was different from the one I'd seen before. It was the original draft, without the comments about family interference. Andrew's an old friend, Timothy explained. He called me this morning. He was furious about the unauthorized edits to his review. The puzzle pieces fell into place. Madison's social media campaign. The fake loan documents. The altered review. She wasn't just trying to control my restaurant. She was trying to destroy it. Why now? I asked, the words catching in my throat. Why after all these years? Timothy's eyes met mine. Because Brandon lost his job, he said. And with it, Madison lost her access to his corporate accounts. She needs a new source of income to keep up her lifestyle. Your restaurant is profitable, visible, and vulnerable. I finished, the word bitter on my tongue. I'm meeting with my lawyer tomorrow, Timothy said. But you need to decide what you're going to do about Brandon. He's been helping her with some of this. The betrayal hit like a punch to the gut. My husband, my partner, the man who had vowed to stand by me through anything. My phone buzzed again, this time from an unknown number. Miss Carter, this is Andrew Tate. We should discuss your mother-in-law's interpretation of my review. Perhaps over dinner? I looked up at Timothy, seeing my pain mirrored in his face. We were both standing at the same crossroads. Protect the people we loved or protect the truth. I need to make some calls, I said, standing up. Starting with my lawyer. Timothy nodded. Some bridges, once burned, light the way forward, he said quietly. Andrew Tate's office felt more like an interrogation room than the workspace of a food critic. He spread out photos across his desk, Madison at various charity events, each picture showing her wearing extravagant jewelry. Your mother-in-law has expensive taste, he said, tapping one photo. This necklace alone is worth more than most people make in a year. Timothy's money, I muttered, the words heavy with anger. I stared at Andrew, but he shook his head. That's the surprising part, he said, pulling up a spreadsheet. These purchases match perfectly with your restaurant's busiest nights, the nights Madison hosted her special events in the private dining room. My stomach turned. She was selling the jewelry here? In my restaurant? Andrew nodded. Pretty clever, actually. High-end pieces, cash transactions, all disguised as expensive wine purchases. He paused. Your husband managed the books during those events, didn't he? The room felt like it was spinning. Brandon's voice echoed in my head. Mom's just trying to help. All those nights he insisted on managing the private dining room. All those missing wine inventory reports. My phone buzzed, a text from Brandon. Where are you? Mom's lawyer is getting impatient. I have more, Andrew said quietly, drawing my attention back. You should know Madison has been reaching out to my colleagues, trying to plant stories about your restaurant, claims of health code violations, tax issues. She's trying to destroy me, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. No, Andrew said, meeting my eyes. She's trying to force you out so Brandon can take over. She wants to make it look like mismanagement, not theft. My phone buzzed again, this time from Cheryl. SOS. Madison just walked into your restaurant with 2 health inspectors. I have to go, I said, gathering the photos. Lauren, Andrew said, catching my arm. There's more. The jewelry, it's all fake. Madison has been selling counterfeit pieces to her society friends through your restaurant. The final piece of the puzzle clicked into place. This wasn't just money laundering, it was fraud. And Brandon had helped her do it. I'm running a story next week, Andrew said, but I wanted to tell you first. You need to protect yourself. My phone lit up with another message, this time from Timothy. Madison has emptied our accounts, all of them, including Brandon's trust fund. The walls felt like they were closing in. My restaurant, my marriage, my life, all built on lies. And now Madison was making her final move. I need your help, I told Andrew, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. But first, I need to make a call. I dialed my lawyer while staring at Madison's smiling face in the charity photos Andrew had shown me. She thought she'd won. She thought she'd finally broken me. But she'd forgotten something. I had built my restaurant from nothing once before. I could do it again. What I couldn't do was trust my husband ever again. The private dining room felt suffocating. Madison sat at the head of the table, wearing another piece of counterfeit jewelry, her posture regal and smug. Brandon hovered behind her, looking like a guard dog. Timothy's absence at the table felt louder than words, his empty chair an accusation all on its own. Really, Lauren, Madison sighed, lazily flipping through the stack of documents I'd placed before her. All this drama over a few business arrangements. Business arrangements? I said, my voice sharp and unshaking. Is that what we're calling fraud now? Brandon stepped forward. Lauren, you're overreacting. Mom was just selling fake jewelry through your restaurant. Through my restaurant, I interrupted, my voice firm, while dragging my name and reputation through the mud. That's not overreacting, Brandon. That's fact. I pulled out my phone and hit play on a recording. Madison's voice filled the room. Of course, it's authentic, darling, and such a bargain through my private collection, she said smoothly. Madison's perfectly manicured nails gripped the edge of the table. Where did you get that? She hissed. Your buyers are furious, Madison, I said calmly, especially the ones who tried to ensure their purchases. You ungrateful little, she began, but the dining room door opened, cutting her off. Timothy walked in, followed by 3 police officers. Timothy. Madison's voice turned sharp and panicked. What are you doing? His job, I said evenly, as a member of the restaurant's board of directors. Brandon's face turned pale. What's going on? What's going on, Timothy said, is that your mother is under investigation for fraud. And you're an accomplice. You can't prove anything. Madison snapped, though her hands trembled as she reached for her wine glass. Actually, Andrew Tate said, stepping in from the hallway with a digital recorder in hand, we can prove plenty. Madison's wine glass shattered against the wall. She stood, her composure unraveling. You planned this, she shrieked. You vindictive little climber. Mom, stop. Brandon's voice cracked. Please. Oh, now you grow a spine, I said, turning to him. After helping her steal from your own father? After letting her destroy everything I built? I didn't know. Brandon protested. Liar, I said, the word burning on my tongue. I saw the books, Brandon. The fake invoices. The missing inventory. You knew exactly what she was doing. The officers moved toward Madison. Her calm exterior broke completely. This is your fault, she screamed, lunging across the table with her fingers curled like claws. Brandon caught her before she reached me, but not before she knocked over the stack of evidence. Photos, forged signatures, and bank statements spilled onto the floor, proof of the stolen money, the fake jewelry sales, and the empty accounts. Timothy's voice was quiet but filled with pain. I trusted you. Both of you. The officers led Madison away as Brandon turned to me. Lauren, please, I can explain. I stepped back, my heart breaking as I watched my marriage crumble in front of me. Explain what? Brandon? How you helped her launder money through my restaurant. How you forged my signature on loan documents. How you let her ruin everything I worked for. My phone buzzed, a news alert. Madison's scheme was already making headlines, and my restaurant's name was plastered across every story. I'm sorry, Brandon whispered. But sorry couldn't fix a reputation. Sorry couldn't rebuild trust. Sorry couldn't save us. The courthouse hallway felt endless. Madison's society friends huddled in groups, whispering behind designer handbags as I walked past. Their faces were tight with anger and betrayal. Women who had discovered their precious jewelry was as fake as Madison's smile. Ready? Andrew asked softly, touching my elbow to steady me. Before I could answer, Brandon appeared, looking pale and haunted. Lauren, please, he said. Don't do this. Do what, Brandon? I asked, my voice steady. Tell the truth, he said, desperation in his eyes. She's my mother, he added weakly. And I was your wife, I said, the past tense slipping out naturally. But that didn't stop either of you from destroying everything. The courtroom doors opened, and I walked inside. Madison sat at the defendant's table, her perfect posture a stark contrast to the dull gray of her prison jumpsuit. Her eyes met mine, sharp and calculating. Last chance, she said as I took the witness stand. Family should protect family, like you protected Timothy's money or Brandon's future. I shot back. Her expression cracked for a moment, but she recovered quickly. I gave Brandon purpose when you made him feel worthless. You made him weak. I made him loyal, she spat, her voice echoing in the silent courtroom. Something you never understood, loyalty. I pulled out my phone and played a recording. Like this, loyalties? Madison's own voice filled the room. Brandon's pathetic, really. So desperate for mommy's approval, he'll sign anything, just like his father. The color drained from Brandon's face. Madison's mask shattered. She lunged forward, but her lawyer grabbed her arm and held her back. That's not, I never, she stammered. Your Honor, Andrew stood, holding a stack of documents. I'd like to submit evidence of similar recordings, showing Mrs. Thompson's systematic manipulation of her son and her victims. Madison's composure disintegrated. You're ruining everything, she screamed. All my work. My reputation. Your reputation, one of her former friends stood up, her voice shaking with anger. What about our reputations? Our money? The courtroom erupted into chaos. Through it all, I watched Brandon, my husband of 13 years, sitting silently, his face pale. For the first time, he looked like he truly saw his mother for who she was. I'm sorry, he mouthed, not to Madison but to me. The judge's gavel cracked through the noise like thunder. Order. Mrs. Thompson, control yourself, or I'll hold you in contempt. You ungrateful. Madison broke free from her lawyer, lunging toward me. I should have destroyed you when... Her words stopped as Timothy stepped between us. Enough, Madison, he said firmly. The silence that followed was heavy, like a curtain finally falling on a long and painful play. Mr. Thompson, the judge said, turning to Timothy, would you like to make your statement now? Timothy straightened his tie, looking every inch the respected businessman he was. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to start with an apology. To my daughter-in-law, to our friends, and to everyone my wife manipulated, including our son. Madison collapsed into her chair, finally defeated, not by revenge, but by the truth she had fought so hard to bury. Sometimes, karma doesn't need help. It just needs witnesses. The last box of Madison's belongings sat unopened in my office. Through the restaurant window, I watched the morning delivery trucks arrive, the familiar rhythm of a new day beginning. My day. My restaurant. Andrew stood nearby, adjusting his tie. He looked more nervous now than he had during the entire trial. I picked up the box and carried it outside. One last thing, I said. The dumpster lid creaked as I opened it. Inside the box, Madison's prized collection of fake jewelry glittered, her last attempt at manipulation left behind like a poisoned gift. You don't want to keep any of it? Andrew asked. As a reminder of what? I said, tossing the box into the dumpster. How revenge tastes. The crash of the jewelry hitting the bottom was surprisingly satisfying. I prefer creating things over destroying them. My phone buzzed, Brandon's divorce lawyer with updates on the final paperwork. Right below that, a message from Timothy about the restaurant's upcoming board meeting. Life was moving forward, one notification at a time. Speaking of creating, Andrew said, clearing his throat, my new review runs tomorrow. My heart skipped a beat. The restaurant's reputation had taken a hit during the trial, despite the sympathy press. I had to be objective, he added, handing me an advanced copy, but I also had to be honest. The headline caught my eye, rising from the ashes. How betrayal forged a stronger kitchen. Andrew, I murmured, scanning the text. Keep reading, he said, shifting a little nervously. Phrases jumped out at me, refined through adversity and authenticity in every dish. But it was the final paragraph that made me stop. In the end, Carter's greatest achievement isn't its innovative menu or impeccable service. It's the proof that integrity, like the finest recipes, requires both heat and patience to perfect. By exposing deception, owner Lauren Carter didn't just save her restaurant. She redefined its identity. Every dish now carries a simple promise. What you see is what you get. In a world of curated facades, such honesty tastes revolutionary. Too much? Andrew asked, looking uncomfortable. Before I could answer, the kitchen door swung open. My head chef stuck his head out. Chef, the new menu tasting is ready. I turned to Andrew. Stay for breakfast. I'm trying something new. Always, he said, smiling with understanding. During the trial, he'd shared his own story, how family betrayal had driven him to become a food critic, searching for authenticity in a world full of pretense. The kitchen welcomed me with its usual morning chaos, steam rising, pans clattering, voices calling out prep lists. This was my domain, my truth. Chef, my sous chef said, holding up a plate. Ready when you are? I tied on my apron, feeling its familiar weight. Some people collected scars. Others collected revenge.
Me?
I collected moments like these, creating something real in a world of fake jewelry and empty promises. Let's cook, I said, stepping into the rhythm of the kitchen.